Hi, and welcome to Home Buying Made Simple. I'm Lisa Williams with Williams and Associates Realty, and today I'm meeting with Sam Overton, who's a housing program specialist with NIDC. Well, good afternoon, Sam.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi, and thanks so much for joining me today. I know you and I go way back,
We do.
almost what, 25 years?
Yes.
Yes. And when we met, I think that you were working in mortgage lending, correct?
I was in mortgage lending working for U.S. Bank Home Mortgage at the time.
Okay, at the time, wow. And from there, you started working with the Homeownership Counseling Agency.
Yes, I spent 15 years at U.S. Bank Home Mortgage as a mortgage lender, specifically a CRA mortgage lender. CRA stands for Community Reinvestment Act. So I was always focusing on the community. And from there, I went to Housing Resources, where I was helping clients get educated about buying homes and take advantage of different programs to help them in their success. After 7 years, I joined the City of Milwaukee, NIDC, Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation, as a housing program specialist. I'm still doing loans. And
So you're still
helping
working
families.
with helping families and working in the community.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so NIDC, what do they do? What is NIDC?
Well, NIDC is a department of DCD, City of Milwaukee's big DCD, Department of City Development. Within the Department of City Development, there are different entities that specialize in different things. NIDC is one of those. So Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation, we're about improving neighborhoods.
Okay.
And so what we do is we help homeowners, first of all, and buyers, but we help homeowners take advantage of repair programs so that they can have a quality of life and also enhance their properties, enhance their neighborhoods.
Okay. Now, do they reach out to you or do you reach out to the community? Like if a person has a question or a situation with regards to their home, I mean, are you sending out letters? How does individuals know to reach out to you?
For most folks, a part of city programs, they're going online or getting word of mouth about programs we offer. And so, no, we don't reach out to, they're reaching out to us to take advantage of these programs. And even though sometimes programs run out of money and get refunded the next year, we still want as many people to know about the programs as possible. But they reach out to us. I'm having an issue. My roof needs repair. What am I going to do? I don't have the funds. Our program also is designed, because we're giving loans as a part of the housing program specialist, that area with repairs. We are helping homeowners who, in some cases, may not qualify for a bank.
Okay.
And so they may not have enough equity in their house. They may not have a certain credit score. And we have more lenient guidelines to help our City of Milwaukee homeowners be able to take advantage of repairs to get those, not just emergency, but mostly emergency things taken care of, but also repairs that are just going to help you enhance your home, keep you stable, and help the neighborhood.
Now, when you mentioned loans, and you said that, with regards to affordability and that they may not qualify for conventional financing. So I'm assuming that there is an interest rate or there's some terms that are going to be flexible for homeowners to take advantage of this.
You're absolutely correct. And so one of the things is, right now under our program, majority of our elderly clients, they end up with a loan when they come to us for home repair. In particular, I'm going to speak of our strong loan program. So that program, it goes up $25,000. They'll come to us for repairs, and in most cases for elderly, they end up with a partially deferred loan, and partially deferred meaning up to 25%. 25% up to $5,000 can be deferred 10 years after the work is done.
Mm-hmm.
And the other portion is a loan, but in most cases it's a deferred payment loan for our elderly. Deferred payment loan meaning it is a loan, it is a lien on the property, but it's at 0% interest. There's no payments required. The loan is paid back upon conveyance of property, which means if you sell the property or you move out, it becomes a lease, or you pass away.
Okay. And kind of going back, when we were talking about like community and that you all are out in the community, I'm assuming that you're sharing some of this information with individuals so they'll know that these products and services exist.
You're absolutely correct, Lisa. We participate in several outreach programs.
Okay.
And we partner with a lot of nonprofit agencies, different organizations. Whenever there's outreach, in most cases, you'll see NIDC or the City of Milwaukee having some representation. There's one coming up real soon. I'm going to speak on a couple of the different agencies, which is UCC, United Community Center, Axe Housing, as well as Housing Resources. And they have their home ownership events and different things going on this year. And so we'll have a table set up and we'll have literature out there, and we'll be there to explain what homeowners as well as the new potential homeowners can take advantage of at some point.
Okay. Now, what would you say is a misconception that either first-time home buyers or either homeowners that they may have, that they feel like, well, I heard this about the city, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Have you heard of anything that could be false? Like they may have, like, again, a misconception of what the city does or doesn't do.
There are some misconceptions, and they look at the city as a big bureaucracy,
Okay.
and we're going to have to do all these different things and these different steps. Now, there are guidelines with certain programs, and then there's timing and different steps and phases for certain things to happen. But the one thing that I found out, I was aware of it, but I found out firsthand working with the city, is that the city targets our homeowners and potential new homeowners because we want that investment in the city. And that comes from, we're great to have a mayor such as Cavalier Johnson who believes so strongly in home ownership. And to know that that is a focus of the City of Milwaukee, to not only help folks purchase homes, but to also be able to sustain those homes. And you wouldn't think that you hear this, you hear that, this going on there, but there's a department that is the focus.
Okay, that's great. And because you mentioned that the mayor feels strongly about home ownership. Are there any? And I think that you mentioned that the strong partner loan, is that what it's called? The
strong loan, strong home loans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other products or services that individuals can take advantage of? But I know that the city has so many different departments.
Right.
But is there like something that a buyer can take advantage of?
Sure. So then, speaking of a buyer, I'm gonna just speak of two things. One, there's Milwaukee Down Payment Plus program, Milwaukee Down Payment Assistance. That program is for any City of Milwaukee resident. Now, the good thing is, some people may not think this is good. I think it's a good thing. You have to live in the city to take advantage of this program. So it's not for someone who's trying to come to the city just to take advantage of our program, get up and move up out of here. So you have to be a city resident. There is down payment assistance from $5,000 to $7,000 that's available for homeowners. This program is ran through the nonprofit agencies, but you're buying a house. I'll just use an example: $200,000. You put 5% down. That's $10,000. You're gonna have closing costs and escrow and whatnot, and so we'll add another $5,000. So you need $15,000. Well, if you're buying in what's called a CDBG area, Community Development Block Grant, and I'll explain a little bit of that. It's sort of a low to moderate income neighborhood, which is determined by HUD and their census data. But if it happens to be one of those neighborhoods, which we pull up online, you're allotted $7,000.
Okay.
So now that $15,000 that you would have needed now changes to only $8,000. If you're not in the CDBG area, then you still can receive $5,000. And these are 5-year forgivable grants, which means that they go away. If you live in the house for at least 5 years, it goes away. And if you move out within the 5 years, it is prorated as well, so that 20% goes away.
Goes away as well. Okay. And aren't there any income limits or qualifications that individuals need to know about other than living in the city of Milwaukee?
With most of the programs, most of them, not all. There's no income guideline, but most of the programs, there is an income guideline. However, it's not low income. And a lot of people think there are some programs that are low income, but for some of the programs, it allows you up to what's considered 80% of county median income. They call it CMI or AMI for area median income. But to give you just a little bit of example of the income, to give you an example of 80% median income, a household of two would be allowed an income of $70,850. Okay, that's just one example.
Mm-hmm.
Some areas, and depending on the dynamic and the makeup of someone's file, they may be at 75% CMI, county median income, some at 80%, and some may go over the 80%. But that's just an example. So there are income guidelines. So we're targeting not necessarily low income, but low to moderate income. Yes.
And how does these programs strengthen the neighborhood and the communities?
Man, that's great. You being a realtor,
Mm-hmm.
and there are times when you hear folks, they'll say, this neighborhood is a bad neighborhood or whatnot. And I've always believed this when I first began doing lending. I always believed there's no such thing as a bad neighborhood. And this just wasn't something I just said in my head. It's just when I would think about a neighborhood and what I would see over the years, that's home ownership changes the dynamic of that neighborhood right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so how can you counter what's maybe considered a bad neighborhood? One way, home ownership. Get a homeowner in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Lisa, when you get a homeowner in the homeowners, they're cutting their own grass, they're cleaning up, start cleaning up the neighborhood, participate in different things. But so home ownership
immediately kind of changes.
Immediately changes the neighborhood, and then you're helping yourself and your family, having that ownership, possibly building wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and just building up a better neighborhood, a safer neighborhood. All those things add to that.
Right. And how important is the neighborhood revitalization to NIDC? How important is that to your department? It keeps you working, but how is it important to your department?
Well, yeah, it keeps us working. And the thing about that, I'm glad you said that, because I tell folks, we wouldn't be working if folks didn't need our help.
Okay.
So but our goal is to help families. We have a lot of elderly folks who own homes, giving them a great quality of life in their later years. But just going back to building up the neighborhoods and building up values in neighborhoods by helping someone repair their roof, repair their porches, repair their siding. And then some of the things you may not see, not just curb appeal, but inside the home, electrical, plumbing. Mm-hmm. So those different things are helping build up the neighborhood. And when you build up a neighborhood, you are adding so many other positive entities, such as safety of a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And then now, when that one family is helped, then it's helped how did you take advantage of these services? Mm-hmm. How can I take advantage of these services? And along the way, you can help build up the entire neighborhood, hopefully. And so we're there for folks who in a lot of cases ordinarily can't get, as you mentioned, the conventional financing. There are some who don't need us, and sometimes you can be too good to come to us. If you have income that's so high, coupled with a value and equity that's so high, then you're going to be told to go to the bank. Okay. Because you're going to qualify at the bank. We're there for folks who would not qualify for the bank. And those folks who do qualify for the bank, who didn't do a loan, and they'll see you take advantage of those repairs, they may want to take advantage of a program. They may not qualify because of that. But they still going to take care of those repairs because they see it happening in their neighborhood.
Right, right. A couple things that you mentioned. Well, a couple of times you mentioned the elderly or
Yes.
those seasoned adults.
Yeah.
And I may be in that category as well. But what do y'all consider as elderly or again seasoned adults?
Well,
What's the age on that?
And so I love this about the city. Here's one thing too that I found is that individuals such as myself and coworkers, we have the ability to impact guidelines that's going to help our community. And at one time, what was considered elderly was up to the age of 65 and then 62. And we pushed to get it to the age of 60 because there are some programs in other areas where you're considered elderly at 60, which means now at a sooner age, you can take advantage of certain programs.
Right.
So for us, it's at the age of 60. And so a lot of our clients, two things, if you're 60, at least 60, and your income is under 60% AMI, area median income, or CMI, county median income. If you're under that, you're going to have what's called a deferred payment loan, which is going to be 0% interest loan, no payments required. Otherwise, your worst case scenario would be 3%, which is still interest rate.
Yeah.
Now, if you are not elderly and you're under the 60% median income, but you have a disability, you still will qualify for a deferred payment loan.
So is it that person that has the disability, or what if they have a family member that they're caring for has a disability? Would they qualify?
That's a good question. If the person, one of the spouses, if it's a spouse, yes. But if it's a child, we've been pushing for that though. Okay. It's something we're trying to do. If there's a family member with disability, can they take advantage of it? But in that case, though, they have a disability. The only reason someone wouldn't qualify if they had a disability is if their income was too high, which is normally not the case. But if they're elderly, then that offsets the disability part that's needed. But if you have the income, in a lot of instances, so if you're over the 60% AMI, then you're most likely going to have a payment. But even with the payment at the 3%, our term will allow up to 15 years. So you take advantage of a $25,000 loan in one scenario, $5,000, because up to 25%, up to $5,000 can be forgiven 10 years after work is done. So on $25,000, $5,000 forgiven 10 years later. You have a loan on $20,000 at 3% rate. Our max term is 15 years. You could very well end up with a payment under $140 a month. So that'd be your worst case scenario in that situation.
What just came to mind is, say that I'm a new homeowner and I'm 60 years old. Is there any guidelines or restrictions to how long you have to have owned that property or have been a homeowner to take advantage of this?
That's a great question. And yes, for the STRONG program. Okay. And so we have other programs, one called Home Rehab, and there's no time frame to be a homeowner for that program. But just speaking of the STRONG program, one of the most popular ones, which is city funded as opposed to our home program, which is federally funded. But our home program, even in that scenario, 1 year. So you have to be a homeowner 1 year. We hope that folks will be prepared when they buy and maybe buy and hopefully have certain things taken care of so that they can last a year before they really need any services. That's not always the case, obviously. Right. But even in that worst case scenario, in 1 year, you can then apply to take advantage of the STRONG program. However, our home rehab program, which is a federally ran program, we run it, but it's federally funded. That allows up to $40,000. There's some different guidelines to that, but that allows for windows and lead, and that has no home ownership restrictions on there. You could be in there, 5 days and take advantage of our home rehab. Wow. But that program, being federally funded. Sometimes those fundings run out pretty quick, and then we depend on other departments to help underwrite those loans and provide that funding. But that's another program. That's just one. You mentioned different programs. There's so many other different things. There's a compliance loan program. There's a NIP program, Neighborhood Improvement Project. What we do is a lot of clients, homeowners, potential homeowners, they don't have to remember all of these things when they come to us. We try and put our homeowners or our city residents into the program that's going to best fit them.
Okay.
So if we know that, wait a minute, this program is 5-year forgivable, this one is a loan, let's see if they qualify for this 5-year forgivable program first.
That's good that you're helping them in their situation. Now, because you mentioned that you do some community outreach, like if someone, like you said, maybe over income or may call you with regards to like they're interested in buying a home, but not necessarily a City of Milwaukee property, do you refer them to one of the community-based organizations to assist them, or how do they know about these other agencies?
We do refer them. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because usually if they call us, they want to buy a house, and whether it's city owned or not, we're going to tell them that your first step should be the home buying counseling. Mm-hmm. The home buying counseling should be the number one step, because it's required for most of the other type of resources you want to take advantage of. I want to take advantage of down payment assistance. Guess what? You need a home buyer certificate. Mm-hmm. And then I'm speaking of our Milwaukee down payment assistance, but there's other down payment assistance that's offered by some of the housing counseling, HUD approved counseling agencies. The City of Milwaukee, if it's a city owned property and you want to purchase that, we have a program that'll give you $35,000 towards repairs. So, and that's a 5-year forgivable. You buy a house, I'll just use an example, you buy a house for, say, $50,000. I'm just using easy numbers now.
Okay.
But you buy it for $50,000, and let's say it needs $50,000 in repairs. So now you basically need $100,000 to buy this house, because you're buying it for $50,000, it needs $50,000 in repairs. If you receive our $35,000, now that gets you down to where you only need $65,000 to buy this house, and you get the repairs taken care of. Mm-hmm. And then that's just for repairs. That you can still take advantage of the down payment assistance, not only offered through the city program, but also through the housing agencies that you're going through.
Oh, you can do that as well?
You can do that as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's the housing agencies, UCC, Axe Housing, Housing Resources.
Because most of the city properties, they do, like you said, that they need extensive repairs.
Yes.
And, like some of the grant programs, they want the home habitable before they close. But I guess because of the loan product, that they could probably use these additional funds to do that. But you mentioned, I think it's called Home Ready. It's not Home Ready. It's
Home Buyer Assistance Program.
Right. That you said like the $7,000 and the $5,000. So they would get the
down payment plus.
Milwaukee down. Okay. So they would get the $35,000 plus they would get the other assistance as well.
Yes.
Both of those would be added to that.
You're absolutely right. Now the down payment assistance is strictly for down payment closing costs. Okay. The $35,000 home buyer assistance, 5-year forgivable, that's strictly for repairs.
Oh, okay.
So if the home would need at least $35,000 of repairs, a combination of repairs and the purchase price would need to at least be $35,000.
Okay.
But the great thing about what you're asking though is that you're buying this house, and we use the example $50,000, and then it needs another $50,000. You can still take advantage of the down payment assistance, $7,000, and then there's some agencies that's offering you more than $7,000 because they have their other grants called Hickory and DPP and different things like that. And then we talked about repairs needed. You mentioned repairs needed before you buy. In this case, that's not the case. Under the first time buyer program through the HBA, the money is held in escrow and we hold the money. So
Okay.
that 50,000, you bought the house 50 and need 50,000 in repairs. We hold that 50,000. Part of it is our 35, the other 15,000. We hold that, and then we have a assigned rehab specialist at no cost to you,
Wow.
who's going to work with you throughout the process to make sure the contractors are doing a good job and signing off on it, and you with the homeowner assigning payments to those contractors as they complete the work from beginning to end. And so that's how that process pretty much works there.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. Now, and we were talking, about dollars, but is there a particular homeowner or a situation that kind of comes to mind that somebody actually went through?
Oh, several.
Several.
I have a client closing next week under our homebuyer assistance program.
Okay.
But now, homebuyer assistance program is a purchase rehab program.
Okay.
Buying a house is tough in itself, where you're just buying a home that's already built up or whatnot. There's a process to buying a house. One of the most complicated things you can do is a purchase is add to that, make it a purchase rehab. However, it's a chance for you to take advantage of some programs and buy a specific house you want. There are some people who find some of these foreclosures that are now city owned, and they know they want to be in a certain neighborhood. They buy these homes, and then not only are they buying a house, but now they're buying a house that now may have a new furnace, new upgraded electrical, plumbing, new roof. And so you're putting all this into the home that hopefully is going to add to the value, help you build wealth sooner. And then not only that, it was foreclosure. So sometimes those homes, you mentioned, they have some damage to them, they need some work. But now you come in and now you're helping, building up the neighborhood.
The neighborhood, right.
The property, the city loves it because now there's property taxes being paid and helping the city with other budgets and things we need. So it's a win-win when someone buys a foreclosure, as well as just any home in any neighborhood.
Great. Well, Sam, all of this has been so enlightening, and some things that I found out that I really didn't know. And like I said, I know the city has so many different programs and products that we may not necessarily know about. But if individuals want to get in contact with the city, how would they go about doing that?
Well, we're online. You can Google. You can Google NIDC programs, and we'll show up. And I've tested that. You can Google strong loan programs in particular. It'll come right up the program. Now, if you're looking to buy, I suggest, as mentioned, you start with the counseling agencies. One of those 3 HUD-approved counseling agencies. That's where you start. However, if you wanted to know more about the homebuyer assistance program, the $35,000 if you're buying a city foreclosure, you can Google that. HBA program, City of Milwaukee. And I'm saying you can Google this because that's such a popular thing. And it's something that I've already tested with this. If you Google it, will it show up? If you just Google it, it will show up. And all the information is there. However, you still can contact our office and we can direct you. And our office number, 414-286-5608. That's our main line. But the information is there, and we're here, the city. The one thing that I love about what I'm doing is that it's something that I've always done. From the first time I got into business, helping families. And it's so rewarding to help someone, whether it's to help them purchase or whether it's to help them with repairs. And these city residents, I'm born and raised in the city of Milwaukee. I'm born, first generation of my family. I went to North Division High School. And I love the city. So I am the city of Milwaukee. And I love working for the city. But when I say working for the city, that means I'm working for the citizens. That's who really, I never talk about a boss. I am the community. That's my boss. That's what I work for. But it's rewarding because I'm helping the people who are living here in the city and giving back to the city.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Sam. And, as I had, stated earlier, I know that we've, gone back many years and knowing that, knowing that you went to North Division and that you, born and raised here, that's just let you know that from a home buying standpoint that you've been in someone else's shoes. So you've been there, what they're going through, what they're gone through.
I've been there, and I know the realtor. As a matter of fact, the second home I bought as a homeowner, yours truly, Lisa Williams, was my realtor, and just did a great job and helped me find the house I was looking for. It helped speed up the process, and it was a perfect purchase situation because of that. When people do well, what are you supposed to do? I think the main thing you do, you're not necessarily supposed to do it, but this happens. To me, when people do well, I tell other people about it. Okay. And so that's the ultimate reward, is to say, hey, this who helped me, this who you should take advantage of their services as well. And so you've always been great. And I thank you for helping me, and I thank you for helping me again in the future.
Okay.
When I purchase again. But no, all of that has been a great thing, and all these supporting casts. Mm-hmm. You're going to have your lender, you're going to have your counseling agency, hopefully, and then you're going to have yourself a good realtor. And so that teamwork is what's going to help to put the thing together for you.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Sure.
And again, if you need additional information with regards to the city, NIDC, they're online. So as Sam mentioned, go ahead and Google, and you'll see so many different programs and products that they have to offer. So again, I'm Lisa Williams with Williams & Associates Realty, and this is Home Buying Made Simple. Bye.
Goodbye.